Hello, Squirrel Squad. I will be live today. That's the good news. The bad news is I'll be live because my Florida daughter, Lynn's, and the granddaughters, their flight got canceled. And they didn't find out till they were on the road going to the airport. So Lynn's tried to check out some other flights and nothing was happening, so they are driving and they won't get here till probably midnight tonight, and they're gonna stay with their dad. They were gonna be here like 3ish anyway and spend some time with him because he leaves for the beach in the morning, we leave for the mountains in the morning, whatever. But they'll just go straight to his house, see him a little bit, go to sleep, get up. He'll be eating breakfast with us in the morning, and then he'll be going one way, we'll be going another way. Another good thing about that, though, is maybe Lindsay was talking about, since she's driving, just driving to Tennessee, so we'll have 2 cars, so we'll have lots of room for our stuff. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be live today, but let's go on to chapter 3 called Miss Campbell. While the travelers unpack their trunks, we will pick up as briefly as possible the drop stitches in the little romance we will pick up as briefly as possible the drop stitches in the little romance we are weaving. Rosa's life had been a very busy and quiet one for the 4 years following the May Day when she made her choice. Study, exercise, housework, and many wholesome pleasures kept her a happy, hearty creature, yearly growing in womanly graces, yet always preserving the innocent freshness girls lose so soon when too early set upon the world's stage and given a part to play. Not a remarkably gifted girl in any way, and far from perfect, full of all manner of youthful whims and fancies, a little spoiled by much love, rather apt to think all lives are safe and sweet as her own, and when want or pain appealed to her, the tender heart overflowed with a remorseful charity which gave of its abundance recklessly. Yet with all her human imperfections, the upright nature of the child kept her desires climbing toward the just and pure and true, as flowers struggle to the light. And the woman's soul was budding beautifully under the green leaves behind the little thorns. At 17, Dr. Alec pronounced her ready for the voyage around the world, which she considered a better finishing off than any school could give her. But just then, Aunt Peace began to fail and soon slipped quietly away to rejoin the lovers she had waited for so long. This is going back in time. Weird. Youth seemed to come back in a mysterious way to touch the dead face with lost loveliness and all the romance of her past together around her memory. Unlike most aged women, her friends were among the young, and at her funeral the gray heads gave place to the band of loving girls who made the sweet old maiden ready for her rest, bore her pall, and covered her grave with the white flowers she had never worn. When this was over, Aunt Plenty seemed so lost without her lifelong charge that Dr. Alec would not leave her, and Rose gladly paid the debt she owed by the tender service which comforts without words. But Aunt Plenty, having lived for others all her days, soon rebelled against this willing sacrifice, soon found her strength in her own sincere piety, solace in cheerful occupation, and amusement in nursing Aunt Myra, who was a capital patient, as she never died and never got well. So at last the moment came when, with free minds, the travelers could set out, and on Rose's 18th birthday, with Uncle Alec and the faithful Phoebe, okay, I guess they went again, she sailed away to see and study the big, beautiful world which lies ready for us all if we only know how to use and enjoy it. Phoebe was set to studying music in the best schools, and while she trained her lovely voice with happy industry, Rose and her uncle roamed about in the most delightful way till 2 years were gone like a dream, and those at home clamored for their return. Back they came, and now the heiress must make ready to take her place, for at 21 she came into possession of the fortune she'd been trying to learn how to use well. Great plans fermented in her brain, for though the heart was as generous as ever, time had taught her prudence, and observation shown her that the wisest charity is that which helps the poor to help themselves. Dr. Alec found it a little difficult to restrain the ardor of this young philanthropist who wanted to build at once, to endow hospitals, build homes, adopt children, and befriend all mankind. Take a little time to look about you and get your bearings, child. The world you have been living in is a much simpler, honester one than you are now to enter. Test yourself a bit and see if the old ways seem best after all, for you are old enough to decide and wise enough to discover what is for your truest good, I hope, he said, trying to feel ready to let the bird escape from under his wing and make little flights alone. Now, Uncle, I'm very much afraid you're going to be disappointed in me, answered Rose with unusual hesitation, yet a very strong desire visible in her eyes. You like to have me quite honest, and I've learned to tell you all my foolish thoughts, so I'll speak out. And if you find my wish very wrong and silly, please say so, for I don't want you to cast me off entirely, though I am grown up. You say, wait a little, test myself, and try if the old ways are best. I should like to do that. And can I, in a better way than leading the life other girls